Hey there, how are you? I'm Jenn Rice, and I wanted to talk about one of my favorite subjects this morning, which is sugar. I watched this documentary last night. I don't know, some of you guys may have seen it because I think it's from 2014. It's by this Australian filmmaker, actor, and it's the Sugar film. And he basically was pretty much sugar-free in his lifestyle and decided that he wanted to do an experiment where he would eat about 40 teaspoons of sugar a day. And it was pretty crazy. He went from a really healthy guy to someone that had a larger mid area, more fatigue, less energy. He was actually pretty much suffering towards the end of his experiment. And it's funny because he did this in Australia, but he came to America, and it wasn't very hard for him to get his 40, I think it might have been grams, not maybe necessarily teaspoons. But anyway, he was trying to get a certain amount of sugar just in his system ongoing, right? Well, I guess he went to a leading juice place that a lot of people stop into and think it's super healthy. And the one drink he ordered had like almost all he needed for the entire day of sugar. So it just got me thinking, because his fatigue was it was very present in the documentary. And I was thinking about burnout, fatigue, that increased feeling and lulls, and how we pick ourselves up sometimes with different, mixed coffee drinks. And of course, 'tis the season of cookies, cakes, candies, sugar everywhere. And we love the taste of sugar, right? That's the thing, is that humans are conditioned to love the taste of sugar, but it's not always really good for us. So I wanted to share, there are actually 6 signs that you might have too much sugar in your diet. And if you're curious at all as to, how much sugar are you supposed to have daily? Well, I found, and I'm not a nutritionist, but from the research I did, it said about 25 grams of sugar a day. And just to convert, so I think it's like 4.2 grams of sugar equals 1 teaspoon, right? So when you're reading a bottle or a label and it says, it says however many grams, let's say it says 8 grams of sugar. So then you know that that's 2-ish or more teaspoons of sugar, right? So I was reading some of the back bottles of things that I buy, and some were okay, but some were horrible. Like I buy this ginger beer, and I think the sugar content was 36 grams. Which would then be, use a little math, I guess, 6 teaspoons of sugar, which when you think about measuring out 6 teaspoons of sugar. So in his documentary, he was eating like a piece of chicken, and then he had this side of teriyaki sauce. And it was great because he said, I could eat this teriyaki sauce, or I could go ahead and put this on there. And it was like 10 teaspoons of sugar on top of his chicken. And it really, it was eye-opening to watch this. If you haven't seen this documentary, I definitely recommend it. If for whatever reason you don't have time to watch it, I'm kind of giving you the Cliff Note version. But essentially, we eat a ton of sugar here in America. They actually eat quite a bit in Australia, but not as much as we have. It's like it's literally in everything we have out. Even what you think doesn't contain sugar or seems healthy really does. So 6 signs you may be having too much sugar in your diet, and these are key for you. So 1 would be if you're feeling more fatigue or run down. 2, if you're getting more carb cravings, like you're literally craving potato chips or donuts or anything like that. 3, skin issues. I'm big on that. So signs that you may have too much sugar could be your skin is giving you some issues. 4 is a big one. If you're feeling more depressed or anxious, it could be that there's too much sugar in your diet. If you're getting sick a lot more than normal, you might want to check and see how much sugar are you really taking in. And the last one, if you're overweight and you want to lose weight, it's funny because since, not funny, but interesting, I guess, since I've gone through some weight loss with my diet plan, a lot of people have asked me what I've done, and it didn't really occur to me that I got rid of a lot of sugars. I think I just was following the plan that included a lot of things that weren't sugary, right? So what's really neat is that the side effect of not having a lot of sugar in your diet is that you will lose weight. And in his documentary, so visceral fat is what sugar accumulates. So literally, we're not talking about fat just on the outside that you see, but fat around your organs. And to me, that sounds terrible, right? And so who wants that? And since there's so much in our food that is full of sugar, you really almost have to be a label reader and get into label reading so that you can check the grams of sugar. And like I mentioned earlier, so 4 grams roughly is 1 teaspoon of sugar. And if you can visualize that for every time you're reading a label and if it says 36 grams of sugar, then you can picture 8 teaspoons-ish or whatever of sugar on whatever you're eating. And for me, that visual is really powerful to not eat it, if that makes sense. So I hope these 6 signs that you might be getting too much sugar will be helpful to you. I find it really helpful in my studies of burnout, and definitely fatigue plays a big role. And oftentimes, healthcare professionals, we will eat sugary things because you get that immediate pick-me-up, but then it does drop you back down, but you're kind of just looking for that immediate pickup to get through the rest of the day. But it seems like we should make some better decisions so that we don't have to do that yo-yoing of the blood sugar, which ultimately can get us in more chronic conditions like diabetes. So if you guys found this helpful, if you think someone you know would benefit from hearing this video, please share it. And if you too have figured out ways to cut sugar, or certain products that you found really that you were super surprised that they had as much sugar in them as they did, I would love for you to share them, because I'm always on the lookout for things to eat that don't have a ton of sugar but that taste good too. All right, you guys have a great day, and see you soon.